So, page 53. So what is the definition of a renewable source? So a renewable source of energy will replenish itself. Okay, renewable sources of energy will replenish themselves naturally, and they will always be available. This is the main benefit of renewable sources of energy. Okay, so let's understand what these renewable sources of energy are by looking at some examples. Okay, so we've already mentioned this solar energy. Okay, if today I have a solar water heater like I have in this picture, and it is receiving energy from the sun and heating up my water, all right, I will still get solar energy tomorrow and the day after that because the sun will keep on shining. Okay, the sun, as you know, is a big ball of gas that is constantly exploding. So our sun is not going to die off anytime soon. So solar energy is a renewable source of energy. Okay, just like solar water heaters, we talked about photovoltaic cells that convert light from the sun into electricity, so that you can use whatever the electricity you need it for. It could be home appliances or lighting or whatever you would need. Okay. Wind energy is also a type of renewable source. Okay, so the wind turns the turbines which operate the generators which produce electricity. Over here we have a picture of 4 wind turbines. They are very large. Wind turbines are generally very large because you would need. They are very large so that even if there isn't a lot of wind, there will still be enough for the turbines to turn, okay, and generate the electricity. Okay, over here we have a picture that explains roughly the process of how wind turbines work. So step 1 is the wind turns the blades of huge turbines. So the blades are spinning and those are connected in the middle to some form of generator that creates the electricity. The turbines spin generators to create this electricity, like I've just said. All right. Finally, a transformer will have to change, increase or decrease the voltage to be able to transmit it. We will talk about the electricity more in the coming years, okay, not this year. And finally, electricity is delivered via the distribution lines. However, more recently in Malta, we have started passing all of our electricity lines underground rather than over pylons. There are still electricity. You can still see electricity, especially very close to houses. They are still passing through wires that are a bit higher up. Okay, page 54, more types of renewable sources of energy. So, other sources of energy are tidal energy. So, tides are produced by the gravitational pull of the moon, which creates gentle bulges in the Earth's oceans. As the Earth rotates, different places have high and low tides, and this motion carries energy with it. A lake fills when the tide is in and empties when it goes out, causing movement of water which drives a turbine. As we can see in the picture, here there are turbines beneath these what look like poles. Okay, so as the water is rushing in, the turbines would turn. As the water is rushing out, the turbines would turn in the opposite direction, but will still generate electricity. Now, tidal energy cannot be used everywhere. Okay, if we take for an example Malta. In Malta, we only have about 9 centimeters of tide, which means we cannot realistically build tidal energy power stations. Okay, because we won't really get that much. It's not really felt our tide. All right. Another form of energy is wave energy. So in this case, as we can see in the picture over here, generators are driven by the up and down movement of waves at sea. Okay, so we would get this well, these generators that are in an elongated tube, even you can see them in the other picture, and as the waves bring them up and down and up and down, they twist and they create, so that they can create small amounts of energy. All right. Now, for these to work, just like the case in tidal energy and even in the case of wind energy, you would need to have a very large amount of them. So you cannot only have, for example, if we're talking about wind energy, let's go back to see the picture. If we're talking about wind energy, you cannot realistically have one wind turbine. Okay, in fact, generally they are built in large sets, in large amounts. Okay, so you'd get, I don't know, 20, 30, or depending on what the land allows you to build. Because you would need a lot to create enough energy to supply a city, for example, a large city. So when we say city, obviously we're not referring to Maltese cities. Remember that abroad there are whole cities that are even larger than the population of Malta. Okay, so the need of electricity that they would have wouldn't be comparable to what we do. Interestingly enough, there was once a project to build a wind farm in Malta, and it was going to be based at what is called this Is-Sikka al-Bajda, which is off of the Melliħa Cliffs. Ġifieri l-aħrax tal-Melliħa iktar il-bot mill-aħrax tal-Melliħa kienu se jkunu. Okay? However, there are some negative effects of wind turbines, which we'll see later on, which ended up meaning that we weren't going to be building this project. So